Yo, thank you so much for tuning back in for another monthly brain injury update for you. It is the July update. I am recording this on July the 27th of 2019. Today is actually my friend Jackie's birthday, so a very happy birthday to her. I hope it's a great day. So, for the next three videos, I'm going to show you a little bit of some of the newer things that I'm doing in both physical, occupational, and speech therapy. So for July, I actually am back in therapy. So confusion was the reason that I thought I was done. I'll tell you this story. Um, so I've been told I had 60 visits combined between physical and occupational therapy. I reached my 60 visits, and my provider, my therapy provider, called the insurance company to see what we need to do to get more approved. They told the provider that I had 100 visits, not 60. So they called me, told me that the provider called me, so I called the insurance company back. They told me 60. Again, I called my provider back. They called the insurance company again. They told them it was 100. So I called again. They once again told me 60. So I pretty much said, I don't know what's right here. I don't know what to do. I don't want to get hit with a huge bill because I worked the math out. It's about $1,000 a week in therapy. So the cost of getting this wrong was high to me. So they ended up finding both 60 and 100 listed in separate spots. So they ultimately researched the request, found out that 100 was accurate, not 60 as I had been told. So that will get me going twice a week through the middle of September. So I'm back in therapy now, which is a great thing to keep that progress rolling forward. So I will talk more about what we're doing, some new things for physical therapy here in just a moment. But first, let me make sure you see how the walk-in's going, so I'll show you that as well. So the focus of today's video will be on what I'm doing for physical therapy, which physical therapy is mainly geared at walking. That's the main thing that we're doing. So I'll discuss some of the issues that I have, but you'll notice this little strap that they put on my walker. It also has a ring on the end here that I don't know how well you can see that, but it's basically a ring that you can take on and off, similar to rings you used to put on index cards, so that I can take that on and off on that end so that I can get into the walker if I need to for reaching or some bounce work. I have that my hips further in that than I do normally. So the main point of that is when I'm walking around, I try to have my hips in constant contact with that, so it helps me walk more upright versus leaning over, pushing the walker along. I have my hips up to that strap helps me stay standing. So that's a good thing. This helped a lot. That's new as of the past few weeks. So I'll show you some other things. I'm still doing some of the exercises and things of that nature, so I won't show you those again. Prior videos, I went into some more details. The wobble board for balance, some of the exercises I was doing for core strengthening, and things of that nature. So I'm still doing those things, but I won't focus on those for the purposes of this video, but I will show you some things that are new. So one of the things that I've been working on is sidestepping. So I do this in the hall so that I'm protected on the front and back sides, where I can kind of catch myself if I stumble, because my balance isn't great. But I try to keep my knees slightly bent, because as you'll hear from a lot of things that I do, I have a tendency to lock my knees, so try not to do that. But just with bent knees, work my way down the hall a few times, right? And then when we get to the end of the hall, we come back to the other side with the bent knees, working that way. So what you're looking at here is a foam balance pad that I do specializes on. I do these by the counter. I try not to hold on to the counter, but I have it here just in case I lose my balance to catch on. So the things I do here are stand up on my tippy toes. Also will try and stand on one leg, alternate which leg we stand on. Also with bent knees, just stand on this thing with my eyes closed. And I do squats, so you can't really tell. But I do squats on this thing too. Also, we'll do this long ways, and we'll do my tandem standing on this. It's not big enough to do fully in front of one another, but I will stand one in front of the other as far as I can. Try to balance that way. Do it the other way. The other foot in front of the other. Try and balance here also. Now, I'm out of breath, sorry. I do this 3 times a day, so I'll do this before I eat all 3 meals. So that reminds me that I need to work on my balance. So I just do these exercises, then grab whatever I'm eating for that meal, and move on. So I have rigged up this here bungee cord to my treadmill. So when I walk, I try to keep my hips in constant contact with this so that I'm standing up straight. Now I won't subject you to my walking, but I do walk on this every day, so this helps quite a bit. But I have a little clip that my Fitbit goes into that I can attach it to my shoe, so that way even when I'm holding on, it'll still register my steps. And I've actually got my steps every day since November the 26th. So keep that going. Hopefully learn to walk without this soon. So that is some of what we're doing to work on more walking. Just to go into a little more detail, the main things I'm struggling with are not standing up straight, being too far leaned over, um, my knees locking out, so trying to keep a slight bend, or at least if they're straight, not locking out my knees. And then also when I walk, trying not to hit quite so much on my heels, a little more um, flat footed. I tend to do too much on the heels, so I kind of have overcompensated there. So I'm working on those things. As I showed in the video a couple months ago, trying to get that fixed by doing some walking. Also, working on my balance is crucial for the success that I'm having walking. So that's come a long way, but still a little further until I'm doing that full time. So it was still working towards that goal. So that's some what we're doing physical therapy wise. I will discuss the other therapies in future videos, excuse me. So the thing that I wanted to share for this month, I'm actually stealing this from a friend of mine, but on my last healthy day before this happened, I was actually just starting to get the headache that ultimately became really bad for a few days before I landed in the hospital and started this whole process. So the last healthy-ish day that I had, I was actually over at her house. She's dealing with her own illness, and I was helping out, doing a lot of things physically. So nothing big, just like doing the dishes, cleaning up the kitchen, wiping the counters down, doing that sort of thing. So now it's harder for me to get around, so I can't help the same way I did physically previously, but I have learned that you can still have a lot of value towards people even if you can't physically help the way you used to. So doing more listening, talking things out. The roles have kind of reversed where she's actually helping me out a lot with the cleaning, cooking, things of that nature. But I can still be beneficial to her in the friendship that we have, just in different ways than it was previously. So I've learned that regardless of what you're going through, you still have and can add value to those around you, even if it's a little different than what you're used to doing. So I'm working hard at that. Hopefully, I'll get back to being able to do some more things physically than I am currently, but I don't want to ever lose the addition of being a better listener, that sort of thing. So, that is all I wanted to pass on for this month. Thank you very much for spending a few minutes with me again. I will be back another month to share a video. Um, some further therapy there too, but as far as the next month goes, I hope it's wonderful for you. Thank you again. Have a great month, and I'll see you back shortly.